You're going to have different companies specialize in different things. And for every specific skill set, you're going to need more staff or employees to do it. If they don't have that, what you end up having is a marketing company that's willing to take on a project and go, oh yeah, we can figure out how to do TV. Or like, yeah, I've seen a billboard. I know how to buy a billboard.
And you know what, Ted, let's be honest. We've all been there. I mean, I'm a business owner. I've been there. Like at one point I had to bring on my first dentist and be like, sure, we'll try it. Right. There's always that skill level of you kind of get what you pay for type thing, right?
I think the first thing I would do is put together a spreadsheet or do this on a dry erase board or whatever and list every vendor and everything that you are doing under marketing.
Welcome back to another episode of Dental Marketing Go. I'm your host, Gary Bird. I'm the founder of SMC National, where we help offices just like yours level the playing field against the big guys out there so you can get the new patients that you want, but you can't get the new patients that you want if you don't know what marketing you should do first, second, third, and if you don't know if you should put everything under one roof or under multiple different marketing companies. This is a really common problem and a very complex problem. So today I brought Ted, who is our VP of sales at SMC National. He's been in the dental industry for years, and he's going to break down this and actually give you a framework where you're going to be able to quickly figure out what marketing activities you should focus on first, second, third, and then figure out how to and where to put those, who should be doing those for you. This is going to bring you a lot of value around marketing, so you're going to want to stay tuned here. And if you don't know who Ted is, you probably haven't been in dental very long. I've known Ted for many years. He's been in the dental marketing world for a long time, for over a decade, I believe, and does a great job just knowing what dental offices need and being in touch with what's going on in the market. One of the topics that we were recently talking about, and we felt like it would be a really good podcast episode, is should I put all of my marketing under one roof, under one marketing company, or should I diversify? Meaning, do I want to have one company do my postcards, another do my website, another do my SEO, another do my television ads, or do I just bring it all to one place and allow them to manage it? So, Ted, I'll punt that question to you and see what you think, because I think you have a pretty hot take on this.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is, first and foremost, you got to make sure you're aligned on what the end goal of the marketing is, because there are different goals with marketing. You know, like technically you could count, putting your name on the back of your kid's Little League team as part of marketing. I wouldn't say that has to fall under the same people that are running your ads or things like that. I think the main thing you want to make sure, though, is that there's an alignment on what is one company doing versus the other company if you're going to separate it.
You've probably noticed this before, but this podcast is unsponsored. What that means is we don't get paid to do it, but we want to bring you the best information possible. So how do we make sure that this content stays on the air? We need you to like and subscribe. Wherever you're at, whatever you're listening on, just give us a thumbs up or subscribe, and that helps us out so much. I know that you probably haven't done it, so I'm just going to sit here and wait until you do. 95% of our listeners have not subscribed to our podcast. So go ahead and do it now. Don't make this awkward. All right, good. Back to the show.
And if it's going to be together, is there enough understanding from that marketing agency or that company to know that what they're doing has a specific purpose? Are we aligned on goals as a company? Those sorts of things. So like, I think like SEO and pay-per-click feel like a really good fit. Social media branding, I don't think has to be in the same group.
Yeah, actually, we had a meeting with somebody yesterday, and we were trying to define the difference between what SMC did and what they did. And they focused more on social media, and we focused more on lead gen. And I said, wait a second, the difference here is very simple. You do branding, we do lead gen. Those are two different things. So with branding, typically, you're going to measure success by eyeballs. So as an example, when you go to buy, like, I've seen people do this where they buy like the back of the bus, those ads on the back of the bus, how they sell those is based on impressions, how many eyeballs. So if you're in a rural area and you're going to buy the back of the bus, you're going to pay a lot less than if you're paying for a bus that's driving through the middle of LA traffic, because of the amount of eyeballs that you're going to be getting. So you pay by eyeball for branding, where lead gen, you're paying based on results. Did I get that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it doesn't mean that the two aren't connected. I don't think, I think it would be much harder to convert a lead if you didn't have a brand already established. So those two pieces can certainly help each other. But to say that they have to be all under one grouping, I think is unnecessary. Now, the other concern here... Oh, go ahead.
They're different skills as well. They're different skill sets, right? Like one is more artistic, creative, and about attention. And the other one is about systematically walking someone through a funnel to get them to call your office and show up and buy treatment.
Absolutely. You're going to have different companies specialize in different things. And for every specific skill set, you're going to need more staff or employees to do it. And if they don't have that, what you end up having is a marketing company that's, willing to take on a project and go, oh yeah, we can figure out how to do TV, or like, yeah, I've seen a billboard. I know how to buy a billboard. Yes. And so what ends up happening is like the horror story is, your account manager is writing your ad copy and, messing with code, and it's not in their skill set. That's clearly not a specialization as to what people are good at.
And you know what, Ted, let's be honest. We've all been there. I mean, I'm a business owner. I've been there. Like at one point I had to bring on my first dentist and be like, sure, we'll try it. Yeah. Right. And there's people out there that'll bring on a dentist for the first time. And also dentistry for dentists, they're going to do certain treatments for the first time on people. Right. And it's going to be their first rodeo, and it's probably not going to be as good as their 1,000th time doing a treatment. Right. And so there's always that skill level of you kind of get what you pay for type thing, right? I would say. Yeah.
I mean, somebody has to be the guinea pig. It's as you as a dentist, it's you as a patient being the first time somebody's doing a procedure, although the doctor's probably not going to tell you that. There's always going to be a first, and maybe something that the marketing agency is good at. But the other extreme is if you spread everything out, what you can often happen is multiple companies doing the same thing and multiple companies neglecting something. And you have these either these overlaps or these gaps. And if you as the owner don't create that alignment as, okay, this person's doing this is the goal with this campaign, and clearly see that's the only way you're going to figure out where you're missing things or where you're doing overkill too.
Yeah. So what would be an easy way if someone's listening to this and they got like 4 practices, and they got 4 or 5 practices and they're kind of working through, trying to figure this out. What would be an easy way to start sorting through this? Or how would you start sorting through it and figuring out, okay, what needs to go where and in what order, right? Like if you mess up and you do the wrong thing first, like you might end up spending all your money and not having anything left over to actually generate new patients.
I think the first thing I would do is put together a spreadsheet or do this on a dry erase board or whatever, and list every vendor and everything that you are doing under, air quotes, marketing. This person does this company does this. I get my postcards here. I buy the billboard here. This one's doing my website. List all those out. And then in the next column, I would list specifically what they're doing. And then in the next column, I would try to identify what is the goal. Because something like pay-per-click, for example, goal is new patients. Social media, probably branding, it's to grow your brand. I'll go back to the name on the back of the Little League team. A little bit of branding, but let's be honest, it's partially like vanity. That's part of the community. You're not really expecting something out of it. So I think kind of identifying first and foremost who they are, what the goal is, and what they do. Then you can start to figure out and coordinate, okay, who kind of groups together. Does my postcard need to know what's going on with my website? Yes, because it's potentially where you're landing them. But does one dictate what the other one's doing? Probably not. There's a level of like ownership you need to have, but also an understanding of, hey, where's the postcard sending somebody? How are they attributing leads? Is the website company tracking those or attributing them? You pay for all these pieces. It's like, if you have a gym membership and you really like it, and then you get another gym membership because it has a pool, like, you're still paying for 2 gym memberships, but it may be okay because this one has the rowing machine and that one has the pool that you like, but you're not going to get a discount just because they have free weights at both and you don't use them at both, So you got to have an understanding of what services you're using and what's available to you.
And you also have to understand like what stuff is helping you and what stuff is actually hindering you. Because when you go to Crunch, the gym Crunch, I don't know if you've ever been there, they have days that they give you donuts and free donuts, free pizza, right? And so it's like, great, that's awesome that the gym offers you that, but that may not be in the best interest of your goal. It may satisfy you at that moment and serve that purpose, but it may not get you to where you want to get to your goal. So if I hear you correctly, it's figuring out what stuff is going to get you to your goal faster, and then adding things that bring compounding effects to that. Like as an example, if you need new patients today, you definitely need to be running ads, definitely need to be working on SEO. Ads are going to be faster. SEO takes more time. And then also at the same time, you also need to get Google reviews. And you shouldn't be waiting on Google reviews to start getting new patients, but you should be working all at the same time. But some of them have an instant effect, some have a compounding effect later, and some are more of an assist that just helps things overall.
Yeah, and don't let the dollars dictate what you're doing and what you're prioritizing. So just because one area of that may be cheaper to execute, if it's not doing what you need it to do, you're going to have an issue. So you may have to do something more expensive, but it's going to get you better results, which can ultimately feed the fuel for the other stuff. And I think one of the important things too, when it comes to looking at your goals and is also the costs associated with it. You may not want to pay for the cheapest one first, because it may not be delivering the results that you're looking for. So you may have to start with something more expensive, but that can help fuel the budget to the other pieces. So like if you're trying to grow your practice, the goal should be new patients. Let that other part, let that be the goal. And then that can influence where you can pay for some of these other pieces that fall under the marketing umbrella.
That's such a good point, is that the more you make, the more money you have to spend on marketing to do different things to get your marketing to be more effective. Because again, there's no question, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, there's no question that having more Google reviews helps all of your marketing. It helps everything. But it takes time, money, and energy to get more Google reviews, right? And so that doesn't mean you don't market. You just have to focus on the right activities. So right now, if you were going to start today and you're starting a practice or maybe buying a practice and you just need it to grow, or you need for an associate, first thing is what activities are going to drive the most patients the fastest? So that's going to be your high intent. So high intent, let's break high intent down for people. Do you want to go to people who fit your demographic, or do you want to go to people who fit your demographic and are looking for you at that moment? Right?
Absolutely.
So go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, Google is a world of abundance. And, there is always going to be more people looking for you, but don't know who you are. And Google is that perfect bridge to connect to them. Postcards and things like that, you're hoping to catch them at the right time. You're hoping that they happen to be in the need for a dentist or they remember it. Google is they are actively looking at that moment and you are actively showing up for them. That seems like the perfect fit if your goal is to grow quick.
Yep. Love that. Awesome. Well, Ted, this has been really, really good. And this really helps people work through problems. And I appreciate you coming on. I know we're going to be doing more of these and talking through some of these a little bit more complex, nuanced type marketing things on here. So I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.